All right, so this story was brought to my attention and aggregated from Drudge. I clicked on it in utter horror. I had to bring it to you. Do you remember those 5 Afghans living in Sweden? They were asylum seekers, refugee status. They were convicted of raping a young boy and filming it at knife point in the forest. They drag him, they violently beat him. Hey, guess what? The Swedish government has decided not to deport them. Why, you ask? This was released today. They're not being deported because their homeland is simply too dangerous. For them, the violent rapist beaters, their homeland is too dangerous. Now, Sweden, this happening in eastern Sweden, it looks like to me the homeland has become too dangerous for Swedes living in their own country. This case is reminiscent of a 10-year-old boy, a German boy at a swimming pool that was violently raped, dragged in a similar case like this, except his wasn't filmed. He was 10 years old, and he wasn't, in that case, the Syrian refugee who violently beat and raped the 10-year-old wasn't deported either, because they said that he wasn't able to discern culturally what he was doing was rape, if you can believe this. Now, this policy run amok. People in Western Europe are no longer safe even going outside. We've covered the mass sex assault, 1,200 women. The government was denying it, if you recall, around New Year's Eve this time last year. Those German women. What are they doing this year to combat it in places where this happened, like Cologne? They're giving them rape sirens, of course, these little pulsating, annoying sounding beeps to ward off a rapist. Yeah, that's going to be highly effective. You know, we're covering this, we're here in the States, and what do we see? We see our own president pushing through 500 people, dumping them in Nebraska, largely unvetted, as he leaves office, refugees with similar status to these people that did this crime. And you know what? That's a very dangerous, slippery slope that we're seeing. But it looks like in this specific case, which Owen Schwarrier has covered, we've covered it here in the Nightly News, these 5, guess what? They get to stay in Sweden, continue receiving those benefits because their homeland is simply too dangerous for them to return. Well, I'm Margaret Hell reporting for Infowars.com.